Imagine a world where the darkness of night was never challenged, where the machines that transformed our lives never came to life. What if electricity, that invisible force that shaped the 20th century, had never been harnessed? What would humanity be like without glowing light bulbs, roaring motors, or the internet connecting the planet? This idea might seem absurd, but let's dive into an alternate timeline where electricity remained a mystery, a whisper of nature we never deciphered. Brace yourself for a fascinating journey, full of surprises and reflections that will change how you see the modern world. Today, we'll explore what would have happened if scientists like Faraday, Edison, and Tesla had never unlocked the secrets of electricity. Let's go back to the 19th century, the moment the world stood on the brink of revolution, and imagine a completely different path. How would society, technology, and even our daily lives have evolved? Would we have found other forms of progress, or would we be stuck in an eternal past? Stay with me, because this story will surprise you. In the real world, electricity began to be understood in the late 18th century. Experiments with lightning, like those of Benjamin Franklin and Michael Faraday's discoveries about electromagnetism, paved the way. By the 1880s, Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla turned these ideas into practical reality with light bulbs, generators, and power distribution systems. But what if these breakthroughs had never happened? Let's imagine Faraday's experiments failed. Tesla's ideas were ignored, and electricity remained a curious but useless phenomenon like a parlor trick. It's 1850, and the world still runs on steam, candles, and manual labor. Cities are lit by gas lamps, casting a dim, flickering glow on cobblestone streets. London, Paris, and New York smell of burnt oil and coal. Factories, noisy and smoky, rely on massive steam engines that devour absurd amounts of fuel. Without electricity, there are no electric motors, no efficient lighting, no instant communication. The Industrial Revolution, which in our timeline exploded with electricity, here advances slowly, limited by the inefficiency of steam. Picture a typical night in this era. A family gathers in a dimly candlelit room. The mother sews by hand. The father reads a newspaper printed on mechanical presses, and the children play with wooden toys. There's no radio, no light bulbs, no refrigerator. Food is stored in cool cellars, often rotting before it can be eaten. Life is slower, more laborious. But is it worse? Or just different? That's one of the questions we'll explore. Without electricity, communication is a challenge. In our world, the electric telegraph, invented in the 1830s, revolutionized information exchange. But in this alternate universe, the telegraph never existed. Messages cross continents by ship or horseback. A letter from London to New York could take weeks. Governments and businesses struggle to coordinate, and the pace of global trade is glacial. Imagine the impact on wars or crises. In 1861, during the American Civil War, the lack of quick communication makes battles even more chaotic. Orders arrive late, and generals rely on exhausted messengers riding for days. But humanity is resourceful. Without electricity, other paths emerge. Engineers invest heavily in alternative technologies. Steam machines become incredibly sophisticated. Imagine cities with underground networks of pressurized steam pipes powering factories and even elevators. Steamboats dominate the oceans, and coal-powered trains cross continents. These machines are engineering masterpieces, gleaming gears and giant pistons, but they're dirty, loud, and dangerous. Boiler explosions are common, and city skies are black with soot. Now, let's fast forward to 1900. In our world, electricity already lit homes, powered streetcars, and brought the first household appliances to life. But in this universe, progress takes a different shape. Chemistry takes center stage. Without electrical advances, scientists focus on chemical reactions for energy. Primitive batteries, like Voltas, evolve slowly but remain expensive and inefficient. Instead of electric lights, people use improved gas lamps or experimental bioluminescence extracted from sea creatures. Picture a Victorian mansion illuminated by glowing vials of phosphorescent liquid. Beautiful but fragile and costly. Medicine also suffers. Without electricity, there are no X-rays, EKGs, or modern surgeries. Doctors rely on manual techniques and observation. Mortality rates are high, and diseases like tuberculosis ravage populations. Yet again, human creativity shines. Surgeons develop incredible mechanical tools, spring-powered scalpels, vacuum suction systems. Hospitals resemble steampunk workshops, hissing with machinery and the smell of disinfectant. It's a world where science is as much art as ingenuity. And culture? Without electricity, there's no cinema, radio, or television. Literature and theater dominate entertainment. Picture packed theaters where actors recite epic tales under gaslight. Books are treasures, printed on manual presses. Musicians perform in town squares, and opera is the pinnacle of art. There's something magical about it, isn't there? A world where people connect in person, without screens to distract them. On the other hand, ideas spread slowly. Revolutionary concepts, socialism, feminism take decades to cross borders. Let's jump to 1950. In our world, electricity drove the second industrial revolution and the information age. Here, the world is a mosaic of contrasts. Major cities like London resemble Victorian sci-fi landscapes. Giant steam-powered clock towers mark time. Dirigibles fill the skies, since airplanes dependent on electric motors in our timeline never took off. Wind and water power gained traction, with sophisticated mills and river-driven turbines. But these technologies are limited, unable to match electricity's versatility. War is also different. Without radar or radio communications, battles rely on visual signals and ancient strategies. World War II, if it happened, would be fought with steamships and mass infantry. Chemical weapons easier to produce without electricity make conflicts even more brutal. Yet without nuclear bombs, which require advanced physics and electricity, the risk of total annihilation is lower. Is that a hidden blessing? Now, imagine daily life. Without electricity, there are no computers, phones, or internet. Work is manual or mechanical. Offices use pedal-powered typewriters. Banks store records in giant ledgers. Globalization, as we know it, doesn't exist. Cultures remain isolated, and travel is a privilege. But there's beauty in this isolation. Communities are tighter knit, and people cherish the present without constant technological distractions. What about science? Without electricity, theoretical physics crawls forward. Einstein's relativity, which relied on precise experiments, might never have been conceived. Space exploration is a distant dream, since rockets depend on complex electrical systems. Yet humanity gazes at the stars through mechanical telescopes, dreaming of what lies beyond. Perhaps philosophy and spirituality fill the void left by science. We arrive in 2025, the present of this alternate timeline. The world is unrecognizable yet vibrant. Cities are forests of smokestacks and windmills. Transportation is dominated by steam trains and bicycles. Solar thermal energy, using mirrors to concentrate heat, begins to emerge, but it's slow and expensive. Life is simpler, but more fragile. Epidemics are common, and life expectancy is shorter. Yet humanity perseveres with ingenuity and resilience. So, what does this world teach us? Without electricity, we lose comfort, speed, and global connection. But do we gain something in return? Maybe a deeper appreciation for the moment, for the people around us, for nature left less exploited. This thought experiment makes us question, does our reliance on electricity define us, or are we more than our machines? Before we end, I invite you to reflect. What would your life be like in this world? Imagine waking in a candlelit home, working with hand tools, telling stories at night instead of scrolling on your phone. Does it feel like a step backward or a liberation? Share your thoughts in the comments, because I'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this journey, subscribe and hit the bell. Let's keep exploring alternate worlds together. Until next time.